Hello there, welcome to another edition of Inspirado Projecto podcast. I am your host, as always, CEC. Actually, one of three hosts, me, myself, and I. So there are three of us here. Plus, who knows how many invisible folks are hanging around out there. So here are two synchronicities, two pieces of usu, and by usu I mean ubiquitous serendipitous ubiquity. I'm writing my book about it now. Eric Kleinberg and I hatched this big theory, usu. And there are two pieces of usu that happened that I just clicked into my brain. Now, let's see. Oh my gosh. I realized they were within a day of each other. Interesting. Okay. Let's see this here. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. Let's check this out. On the second, is that what it was? Second? It might have been at Cronies. Or was it the third? So, what happened was, during the weekend that the Yachtly Cruise Show was for Cronies out there in Simi Valley that we just had, during that time we were also shooting some more scenes for Black Pumpkin. So, we were shooting at, oh my gosh, this is the multi-layered thing. We were shooting at a church, and everybody was calling me Jesus on set because my hair is longer. I got this beard. It was so funny. Everyone's been calling me Jesus. And all of a sudden we end up shooting this thing and it takes place at a church. And so it's a scene with my character who wants to talk to these kids. So it's just funny because it takes place at a church and it takes place on Halloween at this church, and I'm like, Jesus. So that was a crazy one, right? Right there, they just wrapped it all up. It was really cool. So anyway, while I was there on the set, there's this Asian gentleman named Kurt, C-U-R-T. That's my first name, Kurt. So there was that instance, right? And I said, oh man, it's so crazy. You know, I rarely meet Kurtz. And then someone else goes, oh, I meet him all the time. And I said, wow, that's so crazy. I haven't met too many. So we do that scene, and then turns out the next day I got the Cronies gig for Yachtly Crew. So while I'm up there, it's up there in Simi Valley, I hear this shouting going, Mini Kurt, and I glance over, and it's this woman who was at a Yachtly Cruise show at a festival. I met this woman at a festival. Yachtly Crew was playing there, and the band that played before us was called the Skinny Little Twerps. And these days, I've been dyeing my beard brown, just for men. Been using that because I've had to grow this beard for Black Pumpkin. So in the meantime, the guys in Yachtly Crew, they're like, look, you got gray on your beard. We can't look like a bunch of old men up here. So I've been dyeing this brown. But I got this gray stripe, like where my beard would be. It'd be like, this gray, just like, boom. And so what was interesting was, this was before the Yachtly Crew guys told me this. They're like, you look like an old man. You got gray on your face. So during that time, we were at the festival, and in the band before us was a guy who's playing guitar who looked like me. Except instead of a captain's hat, he was wearing a cowboy hat, and he had hair long as mine. He had a gray stripe in his beard. He was wearing aviators, and I'm like, what the heck? That's so crazy. There's like a doppelganger of me. I'm his doppelganger. He's my doppelganger. So then, this woman comes up to me. She's like, can I take a picture with you? You look just like my boyfriend who's up on stage playing right now. He's right there, and I go, oh my God, that's your boyfriend? That's so crazy. I was just wondering. She goes, what's your name? I go, my name is Kurt. She goes, his name is Kurt. And I was just like, oh my God, of course it is. And so there was just this awesome, crazy doppelganger moment. So he and I both had a photo with each other, and I sent it off to my mom and family, and I'm like, look at this. And we both had the gray splotch there. And so now, bam, hearken forward to, over the weekend, I meet the one Kurt as Jesus at a church. And then the next day I meet the woman who's the girlfriend of the other Kurt. She's like, oh yeah, I told Kurt, she said, I'm going to go see your younger version. I'm going to go see your mini Kurt. And he's like, oh man, I wish I could come out and see Yachtly Crew there with you. But I get to think his band was playing somewhere else. But oh my God, it was just so kick-ass. Like, it just blew my mind. And this, I gotta say, this Rainbow Moonstone has enhanced. It has enhanced so much. So much usu, so much ubiquitous serendipitous ubiquity. I gotta tell you, just been moving and grooving and flowing and growing and just crazy. What is next, you ask? What is next? Oh, I would say, what is next? What is next? Is next? What is next? Is next? What is next? You want it out, but you can't help it. What's next? What is next? What's next? What is next? If you notice closely in that video, Mike Patton is wearing a Mr. Bungle t-shirt, which is just phenomenal. We're going to head up to the store. Is what we're going to do. Okay? If you don't mind. Oh, by the way, I'll be writing an article on the Inspirado Projecto WordPress. I'm still doing some research here. I've been sending off the podcast like a banshee, and now it's so cool. It's on the front page of the Blueberry. If you look in the arts section, I'm on that first page. It's so cool. It's so awesome to see just the momentum that's been picking up. So thank you, everybody, for passing this along and checking it out. Yeah, I'm compiling a list of all the places to send your podcast. I'm trying to make it, pretty, just as user-friendly as possible. So when you do it, you're like, oh, okay, just follow directions. And ideally, it'll lead you to the promised land. Ideally, it'll lead you to the promised land. Oh, high and low, across them mountains and through the rivers. Oh, howdy ho, howdy hey, you're gonna go hiking across the landscape. Oh, and it's gonna lead you to the promised land. Oh, it's gonna lead you to the promised land. To the promised land. Land, take a hold of my hand to the promised land, to the promised land. Just take my hand, I'll lead you there from here, but we ain't coming back. Just take my hand, oh, life will be grand in a promised land. Alright, everybody, come on in. In the promised land. In the promised land. In the promised land. Life can be hard, and this I know, but there's always room to grow. In the promised land. Promised land. So here we are with a review of Unforeseen Incidents. Unforeseen Incidents is a point-and-click game, like ye old, good old-fashioned Maniac Mansion, Monkey Island, Zack McCracken and the Alien Mindbenders, and most recently, and lots of others, but also most recently, Thimbleweed Park, which I have done a review about that game on the podcast. Emily Morganti, their public relations lady, specialist, I'd originally reached out to her to see if I could get an interview with Ron Gilbert, David Fox, Gary Winnick, any of the creators of Thimbleweed Park. And these guys had worked on Zack McCracken back in the day, Maniac Mansion, these various point-and-click games. These guys were basically the inventors of that style, and it makes this really great puzzle. You know, you got to put these pieces together, and it challenges your critical thinking skills. It just makes you more aware of layers in life than you wouldn't normally find. And I think it's a great way to expand some minds who, it's an educational tool, really, is what it is. It's an educational tool. Oh yeah, okay, yeah. It's an educational tool. Because it teaches you to put pieces together. It teaches you to try all kinds of possibilities. That term "think outside the box" is actually a great way of describing it. It teaches you to think outside of the box and into the front yard, so to speak. Hold on, I'm gonna put you in my pocket while we deposit something here. Well, we deposit something here. So, Unforeseen Incidents it's got to be inspired by those, and if it's not, that's fine too. It's its own, just awesome. It's just its own awesome story within this sort of kind of this genre, if you will. So you move the mouse around and you click on certain things, and he'll look at it, and then you could go up in your inventory and try to use it with other things. You can take out you've got a wrench, for instance, a multi-tool he calls it. So he's got this multi-tool with these various interesting. It's got like there's a bottle opener. It's got a Phillips screwdriver. It's got just a bunch of different things that you can utilize, which you end up applying in the game at various times. And so when you combine these things together, you're like, okay, let's try combining this with this, and then a new revelation occurs. So this is going to be completely spoiler free. There's absolutely no way that I would give away any secret things. I think I love finding Easter eggs. I love leaving Easter eggs. And it's such a wonderful thing to receive a surprise. So I would never deplete someone else of that possibility of coming across something for the first time. I would say, if you're a Twin Peaks fan, keep your eyes out for some of the nods from the homages, if you will, of Twin Peaks in there. I thought that was phenomenal. And it was funny, because that serendipitously came up at a moment where I was sitting there thinking, wow, this would be a perfect time to do a Twin Peaks reference. And then, and I thought, okay, certainly they got to do another one here. And sure enough, they did, and it was like everything I was waiting for. I was hoping that something like that would happen, and sure enough, it did. So it was just really, really cool. And there are a lot of like really interesting locations in there. There's a great conspiracy that is just awesomely unfolding, and you're wondering, okay, is this really happening? Is it not happening? The art in there, I love the art. It's so interesting, because the art reminded me a lot of the art that I draw. And so as I was watching it, I was just kind of visualizing and imagining in my brain what that would be like to actually draw my own, make my own video games, so to speak. I thought, man, that would be so kick-ass. Make my own video game, I draw it like this, holy moly. It was just flashes of insight, bam, 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 going through my brain, and I was just sitting there thinking, wow, I think my future self is definitely doing that. I think he's definitely doing that, okay? Definitely doing that. So the interactions were awesome, too. That was the other cool thing. The interactions really, really awesome. Now, in some of these kinds of games, okay, so when you go to talk to someone, there's like a list of, what do you call them? Reactions that you can say, or even certain things that you can start off a sentence with. When you first go up to talk to someone, there's a list of just these various choices. And so on some of these games, you can go back and choose a certain choice that you didn't use before. You're like, maybe you say something that might seem kind of insulting, okay? So they give you a choice between something nice to say and something mean to say, and you choose the mean thing to say. You cannot, in very few instances, can you actually go back and change how you actually really wanted to react. So I always like to just simply err on the side of just being polite. I just like to do that. I just like to be nice to people. There were a couple times I was a wise guy, and I'm like, okay, no, I want to go back to being nice, but it was too late there to use that one thing, so the interaction was different. But there are a lot of things that you just have got to put together in your own brain as you're doing this. You have to really. There are a few things in there where you just have to really try some outlandish stuff. You got to test. You got to really experiment and go, okay, how have I seen this particular thing? How have I seen this particular something similar to this? How have I seen it used before? So you see something, they feed it to you in little bits. That's the cool thing. They feed it to you in little bits, and then you slowly learn how the behavior is of the world and the way in which little things are presented to you, little Easter eggs are given to you. And as you follow along, you go, aha! I knew I should have written that down. Thank God I saved a game at a particular time when I did. I would say save your games. Whenever you do a fun accomplishment or you're about to do something you think is a big accomplishment, save your game. You probably know all about this, but just do it anyway. I'm looking right now at the new Hollywood Goes Mad. Price $5.99 cheap. Oh my God, this is so brilliant that these guys are out here still making their magazines. Yeah, apparently they moved, and I think I'm sure you've most likely heard me say this on many occasions. The idea of getting Mad Magazine on the podcast and or into K-Chung Studios and interviewing these guys, talking with them. My dream would actually be talking with some of the original artists and say, hey, what happened to those guys? Why aren't they working on Mad right now? Because they're still great artists. They're still great artists, man. Come on, dude. So, what else about Unforeseen Incidents have I not said? Oh, the voice acting is great. The interactions are awesome. The writing is phenomenal. The layers that unfold are just really, really cool. I love seeing the layers unfold. And as the layers unfold, you start seeing little tiny references to things. Oh man, it's great. There are certain times where you almost have to do battle, so to speak. And by battle, I'm putting that in quotes, putting that quotations. You have to kind of do battle. Make fast decisions with certain things. And so that's something. They're also really interesting, how should I put it? Not necessarily mathematical, just, it's like, I found that I had to use my mind in sort of an alternative way when I was thinking about specific things. I had to kind of like go, hey, let's try this, let's try that, and then as I just kept doing that, more things were kind of revealed to me, and that of course was awesome, because then that was just a great payoff. You're going, oh wow, okay, I tested this thing out. I thought, hey, this is so crazy, it just might work, and then you try it. Next thing you know, it works, and you go, oh my God, okay, that was so ridiculous that it worked. What else is so ridiculous that it just might work? What else can I do in this moment where it feels like I'm just kind of stuck here? There's like I don't know what to do. I'm stuck in this moment, and there's nowhere for me to go. There just ain't nowhere for me to go. Oh. There just ain't nowhere for me to go. Oh. Ain't no way to do it. I'll tell you right now, that just won't happen. Never will happen. Never did happen. Never will happen. Never will happen. Never did happen. So, Unforeseen Incidents. I love the game. I got frustrated on a couple of occasions, for sure. And then I had to walk away from the game, and then I go back and I reread something. Pick up as much stuff as you can. Pick it up. Pick up as much stuff as you can. Pick it up. And as you continue to pick it up, just keep looking at it. Keep putting things together. You'll continue seeing more and more possibilities unfolding. You'll see more and more there's more information that just keeps getting revealed, like for instance newspaper articles or things like that. At first, like, I found myself reading something and just seeing like a whole bunch of information. it was just a lot of information. And then as I would go back and I would look at it now and again, I'd take a look at it, and I would see that certain things were making themselves apparent to me. Certain things were appearing before mine eyes. And it felt really cool, because as I saw those things emerge, I started testing them out, and sure enough, those things proved themselves as worthy adversaries. There's so many keys unlocking doors, so to speak, that happen because of the most uncommon possibility that I would choose. So I would always choose the most uncommon possibility, and then sure enough, that would end up revealing something really, really interesting to me, something that I just did not expect. And so yeah, the more you do those little things, the more you test them out, the more you go, hey, let's see what happens here. The more you do that, oh my God, the more it just keeps revealing itself to you. And I think I'm realizing now, at an early age, from playing those games, it really taught me to it really taught me to look beyond what was just in front of me. I think by playing those games, it showed me just in general life. I think like Sherlock Holmes, it's almost like he would have benefited a lot from these games, and I think he would have mastered them just immediately. I was fortunate enough to have my brother to play these games with. We would put our two minds together. We would create this synergy between our brains. It would harmonize together, and we would use our brains. This is before you could get cheat guides on the internet or any of that could actually show you how to finish a level. And sure enough, put those brains together, and you're coming up with tons of solutions. It's crazy. He and I were just bam, bam, bam. I think those games are games that you totally benefit from when you play with others, because there are things that you will each see in there that the other did not. Like when my brother and I were growing up and we would play these games, we would test out stuff. We would go off to school. We would go off to school for the day. We'd wake up early. Oh, pardon me. And we would play some of the game early in the morning. Make time for it before we went off to school. And then while we were out there at school, we ended up, while we're at school, we're thinking about it. We're thinking of the solution while we're there in study hall, while we're there in math class, what have you. We're thinking about those solutions while we're away from home, and just kind of letting it sink in, kind of letting it marinate. And then before we know it, we come back at the end of the day, and we've thought about it, we've imagined it, we've put our brains in there. Oh God, 10 for $10. You kidding me? These Reese's peanut butter cups. Oh, you bastards! No way, will you get me? Oh no. Oh God, they just look so damn good, don't they? Why oh why do you gotta look so good? Why oh why? Okay, I'll get the Kit Kats. If I must. You smarmy bastards, you smarmy bastards. See, the Almond Joy looks good too, though. See, that's a tough one. So, Unforeseen Incidents, I would suggest get it. If you love those kinds of epic games where you go all over the place, and you got Yeah, check out Unforeseen Incidents. You will explode your brain. It's really cool. It's very philosophical too. I really hope to see more of this from this series and with these characters, because they all worked really well. So that's my review of Unforeseen Incidents. Check it out. Look for it. It's on Steam. Yeah, there are great trailers out there. Unforeseen Incidents. I'm pitching the Inspirado Projecto show. I'm going down the rabbit hole. I'm finding all kinds of different podcast directors, even more than I even realized existed. I'm just asking them, hey, can you please include this in your directory? And they're doing it, saying yeah. So it's growing my inventory of podcasting directories and apps that I will be including in my article that I will be writing for my Inspirado Projecto.wordpress.com site. I'll be doing that. So I'm pitching the show idea to, in addition to asking podcast directories and podcast apps, in addition to asking them to include the podcast on their radio show or, on their podcast app, I'm also finding sponsors at the bottom of their pages that they are working with. So then I look at those folks and find out what they're up to, and so it's really intriguing. What are you meowing about? What are you meowing about? I heard you over there. Missing your mommy? Yes, you're missing her, huh? We can still have fun, right? You got two crazy brothers to play with. So I'm sending off this podcast, this RSS feed, to these various directories. I'm seeing what can happen here. There's an NPR, it's called NPR One. It's an app for podcasts. And I so boldly asked them if they would include it. Just for kicks, I'm just emailing these places. I'm ready to go outside. I can smell the wind, but also there's an airplane. There's a huge difference in the smell out here in this freshness, right? Wow. The vibes that you can get from that. Incredible. Incredible. So that's what we're doing. And if something else pops into my brain, I will get a hold of you later. Take care. Stay inspired. So I just sneezed about 10 times in a row. That's usually an indicator to me that a cold is on the horizon. I can already feel the stuffiness in my nose. I can feel back there starting its way near the back of my throat. And I tells you, these are usually the signs that something is on its way. So, I'm going to utilize the ozonator. Going to utilize it. What I like to do first is I filter the water. I know you could just use tap water. However, I like to filter the water. I got a Brita filter. I filter it through there. Then, check it out. This is the sound of the filtered water. This is the sound of the filtered water spilling into the glass. There you go. Now, these cats, they're coming near me. I don't know what they're doing. Alright, so what I like to do is, in between different times when I'm using the ozonator, I like to keep it in a... So the ozonator, I put it in a Ziploc bag. I'm going to ozonate this for number 5. Also turning on the kitchen light. Look at these guys. Dr. Gonzo and Oliver, they're just hanging out in the kitchen. What are you guys doing? Check it out. So you're going to sit with me while the ozonator makes its way through. Also, I'm going to pour some water into this. Into this bowl. So, I figured a few things. Number one, it'd be fun for you to hang out with me for 20 minutes while the ozonator, here it is, just a brief reminder. It's the sound of the bubbles. Oh my God, it smells so good. It smells like right after a rain, during a rain. It's the ozone. So we got 20 minutes of this. You're going to sit here with me while we go through these various... podcasting things. Okay, let's see. So, it says here on the website, if you're sending a pitch, email, refer to these guidelines, okay. If you're submitting a pitch, email this particular email, or refer to these guidelines. So I'm going to open up in a separate tab the refer to the guidelines. So I'm going to read them to you. How to pitch slate, a handy guide. So, you'd like to write for Slate. That's great! If you haven't worked with us before, here are a few pointers on how to craft a pitch and capture our attention. Do read the Slate site to get a sense of the magazine's voice and examples of pieces that have been done in a similar vein. Do Google your idea. It may seem like a no-brainer, but we often reject a pitch because the writer's argument doesn't feel fresh or original. A brief search for other articles on our proposed subject. Oh my God, there's a lot here. Alright. Yeah, that's a lot. Alright, that's a lot. I'm not going to read through it. Here are some of the... so within culture, we got Forrest Wickman. He does movies and music. We got Sam Adams, who does television. Laura Bennett, who does cultural features. We got Dan Kois. Dan Kois, he does books. Human Interest. it's just a general one. Dan Coyce for parenting and family education. Brian Lauder. Jeez, there's a lot here. All right, so let's see. It's got to be an art one. It's got to be an art one. All right, we got video. Good. Slate Plus Academy. I don't know. I mean, it's got to be human. I mean, books. I mean, what the hell do they want? Do I gotta? Oh God, I gotta. Yeah, okay. Slate, we're just not gonna do. We're not gonna do. I don't want to do it. Wait, hold on a second. I saw General 1. Okay. Hold on a second. Now, hold on a second. We're going back. We're going back, man. We're going back. Oh my God, we're going back. We're diving right back into this thing. We're diving right back in. Alright, Slate. Alright, here we go. Contact us. That's what I'm looking for. Contact us. Whammo. Here we go. Contact us. Here we go. Pitch Slate. That's what I'm doing. Forget about guidelines. Pitch Slate. Copy address. Here we go. We have it open. Now, to be honest with you, this is what I... Here we go. Right, pitch and Slate. Inspirado Projecto. And Slate. I'm filling in the title right now. Inspirado Projecto podcast and Slate team up. I'm going to cat was making interesting noises, so I want to give you the opportunity to hear it. Okay, so here we go. You know what? I just don't know enough about Slate. Just don't know enough about him. It'd be very, very ingenuine. However, having said that, I cannot say that I've been not ingenuine in the past. Like with this submitting here, I'm looking for companies that want to work with me. So I'm doing some brief research. I'm going to their websites. I'm looking for brief research to see if we can collaborate together. And then I give them a brief idea of what Inspirado Projecto is all about. So I'm looking through, basically, I'm looking through the sponsors on some of these podcast sites to see who seems to catch my interest. This one here, okay, so Turner. We're going to look up Turner. See what they're up to. Turner Podcast Network. That's what they're called. See what they do here. Let's see what these guys do. Turner Network features original on-demand audio content from Turner's portfolio of leading entertainment, kids, and news brands, and manages the production, distribution, and sales for podcasts from Turner and other industry partners. For more information, see, they got Adult Swim on there and Cartoon Network. See, and then they got, I'm just not interested in the, let's see, Veritone. Alright, so let's see here, Veritone. Those guys just had just political stuff up there. I'm not at all concerned about that stuff. I want to just see art. This next one is Veritone Podcast, which I'm now researching. I wanted to share that airplane with you. Figured since it's only 12 minutes here, we've got about 10 minutes left, less than 10 minutes for the ozonator to... Here, let's check on the progress. Let's do it. 11 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, 11 minutes. By the way, I don't know if I told you this earlier today. However, I did do Pete Martell. They were very happy with my Pete Martell for the archivist virtual reality game. So I did Pete Martell. They wanted me to do Andy, so I tested out Andy. So I'm trying to do Andy, trying to do a good Andy for those guys. So I'll feel so good if I nail it. My Pete Martell, see, these guys, they have sort of a southern drawl. They really do. They have a drawl. And so they tell me, don't make them sound southern. I'm thinking that's the thing that makes them sound what they are. So it's really interesting this has been like an interesting exploration in finding out what certain elements of a voice do people pick out when they're listening to a voice? Like, what are those certain elements? Someone might notice more of a gruff. So for Pete Martell, they told me get rid of the southern part, so I had to do that. They said it's more vowels. So then I checked out vowels. I really accentuated the vowels, spoke slower. I think a lot of times I speak fast. I'm so excited. There's a lot of information out about oot and a boot. So right now we're looking for WYNC Studios. WNYC. I'm finding this, by the way, NYC. If that cat starts crying again, I'll point you towards it so you can hear it. Some of you are involved with the ASMR movement, which has a lot to do with putting your headphones on and listening to a very soft, gentle voice speaking to you about God only knows what. Sometimes your feet, sometimes they're talking about sandwiches, other times they're talking about the beach, sometimes they're talking about music, other times they're talking about trees, other times they're talking about what's in the ocean, sometimes they're talking about airplanes, other times they're talking about the clouds, sometimes they're talking about parachutists. You never know what's going to be going on with the ASMR groups.
instance, right now, I would love to take you over to the cat. Oliver, he was digging his fingers into the comfy chair.
The comfy chair? Bring out the comfy chair! No one expects the Spanish Inquisition! The comfy chair!
So he's on the comfy chair and just... Oh, here's another airplane.
In the meantime, the WNYC Studios podcast thing seems to be pretty cool. Let's see here. So they have a few things here. They put out podcasts. So they got a few things here. Become a sponsor. An email address for that. Want to distribute one of our shows? An email for that. Reaching out to our publicity team by email. There's a place. So I'm sponsor. No. Distribute. No. You know what? I'm going to contact distribution and I'm going to ask them what their thoughts are about distributing Inspirado Projecto through WNYC Studios. Let's see, we'll try to back up here. Try to back up here. Hold on a second. WNYC. Alright. WNYC. See, now these guys have stuff they got other podcasts so that they look at Radiolab. What is that? Radiolab. Pitch us. Shit, yeah. I will. Ooh, I like the sound of this. WNYC, this is what I'm looking for. WNYCstudios.org. Have an idea for us. We'd love to hear it. We want your ideas, your obsessions, the stories you can't stop telling. Don't worry about what you think does or doesn't sound like Radiolab. We're game for anything. The important thing is to bring us something that you can't stop thinking about. And then make sure that we won't be able to stop thinking about it either. Infect us. Give us an itch that only you can scratch. That said, here are some tips about what generally works for us. For starters, we tell long stories, but we love a shorter pitch. Try throwing something at us that's 250 words or less. Want to pack into those words? Wait a second. Oh. So they're talking about stories. Well. Interesting. Alright, we're going to try it. I'm going to just pretend that I'm pitching a story, but really I'm pitching the podcast, so we'll see what happens. They want surprising stories? Well, here's a surprising story. You want a surprising story? Oh, please use 250 words or less. Wait. Okay, please write your picture. They want 250 words or less. Well, I'm gonna... Here we go. Okay, what do we do here? Alright, Radiolab podcasts. Oh man, shows. What do we do? got a story to tell. Well, what do we do? What do you want? 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 All right. I'd be honored to see my podcast, Inspirado Projecto, appear in your directory of podcasts. It features the creation process, dreams, epiphanies, riffs, synchronicities, surprise celebrities, and Uber driver interviews. This is the RSS feed. Let's give them the RSS feed. Ooh, sounds like it's done. No. Okay, good. So I got 20 minutes before the ozonator is done. So I got 20 minutes before it goes out. I'm just going to give these guys the RSS feed. Here's the RSS feed. Ah! Oof, I thought oof, that scared me. And here's, oh my god, that scared me. I hit return and then it was like ready for me to submit it, but I just didn't want to do that yet. That scared me. This is the RSS feed. Bam! And here's the iTunes page. In case you want to subscribe. In case you want to subscribe. Fwammo. I just tell them exactly. Bam. Oh, okay. This is also what I want to put. I like to put this. This is my descriptor. Okay, so I'd be honored to see my podcast, Inspirado Projecto, appear in your directory of podcasts. It features the creation process, dreams, epiphanies, riffs, synchronicities, surprise celebrities, and Uber driver interviews. Alan Watts plus National Lampoon plus Ken Nordine plus Dr. Demento. I know what I'll put. Imagine. Alan Watts plus National Lampoon plus Ken Nordine plus Dr. Demento equals Inspirado Projecto. This is the RSS feed. And here's the iTunes page in case you want to subscribe. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your time. And keep the Inspirado flowing. Whammo. There we go. Submit. Ready? That wasn't me. So that was out to WNYC Studios. So we shall see what happens with that. That's one of the many sponsors. We're still pulling sponsors here from the podcast movement.com. As you know, I think did I take you with me when I put dye in my beard? I put more blonde. Actually, it's blonde dye. As I get older, my hair is getting blonder. It's quite interesting. So, were you with me when I put the dye in my beard? Were you with me? If not, now you know. Now you know. So, we have the water here. Into a Ziploc bag. I keep it covered. Let me make sure it's covered. Alright, so now, bring you with me. What we have here is ozonated water. I'm going to drink it. Here we go. Gonzo. Kitty, you want some? You want some water? Look it, smell it. You want some? Now remember, okay, you're not with me when I had the sneezes. However, you were with me after I had sneezes. So that's why I'm drinking this ozonated water.
Speak and spell. 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 Speak and spell.
Yes, Gonzo, what would you like? I hope you at-home viewers can feel this wonderful cat, Dr. Gonzo, just rubbing up against you. Just realize that you have a wonderful cat bumping his little head up against you. He's sharing his moments of existence with you. Someday none of us will exist. Isn't that interesting? Some of us will not exist. Others of us will find a way to transpose all of our memories, all of our DNA, everything that makes us us, our soul, I'm certain, because that's just a frequency, that's just a vibration as well. Someone will figure out how to make that vibration, that frequency, something that you can actually record into a hard drive and of course input into a robot. That day will come. At this point, what I've realized is that anything we imagine is possible. We're always proving that. things we're able to do today are things that people 100 years ago did not believe we could do. So how can we be so pretentious to think that all the extraordinary technology that's happening right now will not progress? That new kids will not be born every single day who will have the capacity, the DNA, the know-how to be able to transpose our brains, thoughts, all that razzmatazz into microchips, water cells, amoebas. There'll come a point where they're going to put all of our DNA back into an amoeba. We started as amoeba. Here I am, the professor, right? Here I am. We started as amoeba. There was an amoeba. What I'm saying is, it'd be hilarious if we became amoeba again. And on that note, I feel compelled. I'm going to. We have Riffs crackers here. We're going to see what we can do here. P.S. I just got a note earlier today. 30-day notice to change the terms of your rental agreement. June 1st, they're saying that they're going to raise my rent $130 a month. Is that legal? If that's legal, please let me know. Please let me know if that's legal. If you have the answers, if you think that you can defend me as a lawyer against this tyranny, how are you okay with just raising your rent $130? How can you do that? How's that legal? How's that legal? So, let me know, please. Here we go. Here's a Ritz cracker. Here we go. Creamy. Mmm. 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 I gotta tell ya. Mmm. This creamy peanut butter. Mmm. Oh, I see. Okay. I think sometimes the cats like just the cracker. Kitty. Oliver. Oliver. I hate to admit it, but I have to say that perhaps McDonald's started it. I would like to believe others started it before then, and McDonald's just took the idea. But in that same breath, I don't want to believe that McDonald's, if it did exist before, I do not want to believe that McDonald's took the idea and ran with it. So the idea is this. Having a mascot Oh my god, the cats are fighting with him. Stop it. Take it in the other room. Take it in the other room. forgot what I was saying. But I know it was something. Please feel free to email me at Inspirado Projecto at gmail.com. If you'd like to become my beneficiary, or even just someone who just wants to pay my rent, instead of making 1 or 2 podcasts a day, I could make even more. I can make even more. A lot of folks out there have millions of dollars. Like, imagine all the kings and queens back in the old days. In medieval times. And, they had jokers. Jesters dancing all around. And people with that much money, they're bored. Mostly because I'm thinking they've done everything they can with what they got. They've eaten all the foods they've wanted to eat. They've gone on vacations. To everywhere they want to go. At that point, I would either A, if I had bazillions of dollars, well, okay, I would make a video game company, that's for sure. I'd make all kinds of companies, production companies, recording studios. So, there's all that. In addition to that, I'd probably, most likely, buy my dad, my mom, my brother's family, my sister Jenny, everybody. Would get their own houses. And they've lived their own lives. They live their dreams. Whatever money they need to get up and going, they'd have it. I'll give it to them. You want to have your own painting studio? Okay. Do Do you want to publish a book? Okay. Do you want to produce a movie? All right. Do you want to put together a 1,000-acre animal sanctuary? All right. Oh man. I hope that while you're listening to this, you're eating Ritz crackers. Oh my god. Oh my god. And eating Jif creamy. I'm near the end here. Jif creamy peanut butter. Now, isn't it crazy to think that this stuff will imagine will survive into the future? I'm gonna eat. I'm more than halfway through. I'm down to like the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ritz crackers. So now we are going to open. It's called Simple Truth Organic, no stir crunchy peanut butter spread with contains 90% peanuts. Okay, well, what's the other 10%? If it's not peanuts, what the hell is it? What's the other 10%? Anyway, that's the new peanut butter I'm about to dive into. We got a Ritz cracker right here. This one is crunchy. Uh-oh. I'm not gonna make it crazy, but... Oh. Whoa. Whoa. Wow. Oh my god. Whoa. No way. No way. That's what it says. Ingredients: organic peanuts, organic palm oil, organic cane sugar, sea salt, contains peanuts. Oh man. Oh man. Oh. Oh man. Woo! This is authentic. I like this. Thank you, Horn. I was just thinking. Of course. As we've been noticing the serendipity happening out there in the world as we use specific words and hand gestures, etc. Mmm. 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 I was thinking of saying out loud, this is pure authenticity. I was going to say out loud, try to have as many authentic experiences as you can. Give yourself that gift. Dive into as many authentic experiences as you can. Brings you closer to supernature. Brings you closer to you. So good. Give yourself that gift. Oh my God, it tastes so good. What I like, wow. It was so good. What I think is fun is the idea that there's possibly someone in the future who is playing along. They're eating along with us. The peanut butter, the crackers. So good. So, there you have it. Peanut butter is so good. All right, we will talk more later.